Okay, it's currently 10:31 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on April 30th in the year of our Lord 2024. Over 12 hours have elapsed since King Kendrick's release of Euphoria. The rap lands are in shambles. Chaos has broken out across all the territories. And I'm here, a faithful bard, or historian of sorts, to help weary travelers make sense of the uproar. That being said, welcome to the history of rap battles. At the end of my last account, Sir Jermaine had waved the white flag of surrender. His citizenry, unable to defend his action, retreated. While many remained faithful to Sir Jermaine, others, ready for battle, took up arms with neighboring nations to fight alongside those who were ready for war. But dear listener, something you must understand is that since my last account, numerous events have transpired. With your indulgence, I will attempt, albeit rather crudely, and, well, lacking the natural poeticism of my expositional craft, to acquaint you with the present state of affairs. Since the night of Sir Jermaine's surrender, many fiefs and kingdoms have exchanged salvos. Even the lands of rhythm and ballads experienced their own share of conflicts between the houses of Brown and Quavius. But alas, that's a story for another time. You see, after the departure of Sir Jermaine from the theater of war for kingship, the rap lands had settled into a frenzied state. Blood was in the water, and many still craved, carnage. The lands waited with bated breath. Every gust of wind that blew by, every hushed whisper heard in alleyways and locked rooms was thought to carry word of an impending strike from Lord Aubrey. On the relegated evening set aside for various provinces, territories, and nations to release their anticipated compositions, many assumed it would have been that night. Surely tonight Lord Aubrey will respond, they said, boisterous, full of themselves, assured in the calculations of the influential magnate. Coupled with the decreed release of additional compositions from Lord Hendricks and Baron Boomin, it felt like that was the best time to strike. Why not ruin another collection of compositions that could potentially further weaken Lord Aubrey's estate? But alas, as the evening came, it also went. Not a word was heard. Then 2 mornings later, rumors were shared in secret. They have taken the Lord's voice and warped it for their own gain. Apparently, there was a consortium of those most dissatisfied with Lord Aubrey's deferrals that, in their zeal, had consorted with machines to take his voice and bend it to how they believed he should respond. This was simply a matter to force the hand of Duke Lamar into a provocation that would then give Lord Aubrey more of an advantage. Consternation arose within the Raplands. People couldn't discern whether or not the composition was true or a fabrication. The court of Lord Aubrey was conspicuously close-lipped on the provenance of this composition, which only served to further inflame dissension in the lands and incite violence against the machines and their trickeries. Then, suddenly, the Oracle of Ak appeared. Loudly it proclaimed, "I have the composition," and it played it for the world to hear. To the amazement of all, the previous composition had proven true. It had been from Lord Aubrey. However, the version possessed by the Oracle of Ak was much better in quality and structure. Copies went out across the Raplands. Hope had been restored. Lord Aubrey's remarks had been carefully measured. Unlike Sir Jermaine, Lord Aubrey declared his intention to war with the Duke, to challenge his presumptive claim to kingship. Round after round, mortar shells fell around Duke Lamar's encampment in the land where the throne sits. Lord Aubrey also launched attacks at several other nations and smaller provinces that had picked up arms against him, declaring not only war against the Duke, though clearly that was the one opponent Lord Aubrey truly had venom for, but against anyone who would even dare entertain the idea of threatening his sovereignty. Sadly, Baron Boomin suffered one of the more devastating losses. His threat to Lord Aubrey reduced to his arrangement of percussions. The lands rejoiced. The attack on multiple fronts was successful. Duke Lamar would surely have to retaliate. Unfortunately, no matter how great the attack was from Lord Aubrey, the victory was ultimately marred. The composition, though shared through the oracle, still lacked the seal of authenticity from Lord Aubrey. It floated around like a gossip pamphlet that could be found in the unsavory places of the Raplands. In the days that followed, the Raplands were curious about two things. Would Lord Aubrey give his stamp of approval to this composition and put this debate to rest? And more importantly, when would Duke Lamar respond? Suddenly, on the journey to the land where the throne sits, Lord Aubrey's convoy was attacked by a military contingent under orders from Earl Ross of Dade. Ahead of the brigade was the composition they marched to. The speed at which the composition was organized and crafted was a testament to the Earl of Dade, who saw an opening to address matters long stirring in his chest. The Earl also orchestrated a relentlessly slanderous campaign against Lord Aubrey, throwing into question the veracity of Lord Aubrey's physiology, along with other matters of state and commerce, insinuating dubious trade tactics. The Earl's composition worked to slake the thirst of the Raplands for Duke Lamar's response, but only for a moment. In fact, in some regards, it only acted to aggravate appetites around the Raplands for the Duke's response. This was a deficit the House of Aubrey made certain to capitalize on. Seemingly unfazed by the Earl's compositional attack and, pictorial exchanges in tabloids, Lord Aubrey finally gave his composition push-ups the seal of authenticity needed for every home and domicile in the Raplands to possess the composition for themselves. Not only that, but a day or so later, he shares a new composition on his personal bulletin, employing the same trickeries from the machines that are now disparaged, accused of creating his first response. He resurrects a voice long passed from the Raplands and a voice from the present, goading Duke Lamar. It was a taunt. Lord Aubrey had arrived in the valley opposite Duke Lamar's encampment in the land where the throne sits, and dared the Duke to respond, inciting skirmishes between his ranks and that of the Duke's. As Lord Aubrey took up his position between the Duke and the throne, with his new composition and his first salvo, the Raplands thought of very little else than how Duke Lamar would respond. His ascent to kingship now deterred, or, seemingly so. Not but a few days later, on this very day, the 30th day of the 4th month and the 24th year of the new millennia, Duke Lamar responds. Known for his crafty and elegant compositions where words and phrases could mean many things, Duke Lamar deployed an armament befitting someone of his renowned reputation. Scholars have already begun dissecting every verse, arrangement, wordplay, and the such to reveal the layers of vitriol intricately packed into the composition. However, what can be deduced from preliminary reports of the damage inflicted are these. Duke Lamar largely questioned Lord Aubrey's racial pedigree, his defeat suffered at the hands of Baron Push, his lack of diligently executing his patriarchal duties, and the state of Lord Aubrey's trade agreements and their effects on his purse. All the while, on several occasions, taking an opportunity to air his contempt for every facet of Lord Aubrey's appearance, gait, and oration. At this moment, as I share this with you, I do not know the state of Lord Aubrey, except for the fact that he seems eager to reply with equal ferocity. However, my mind remains unconvinced in the wake of the Duke's composition, delicately named, but ultimately not so, Euphoria, that Lord Aubrey can mount an attack of proportionate or greater brutality. It's even rumored that the Duke's response was, in fact, only part of his arsenal, that his compositional barrage was initially designed to last 13 additional minutes. Regardless, the Raplands, with all their thoughts, opinions, and reactions shared, the citizenry across all fiefs, provinces, territories, and nations are alive with speculation, all the while feasting on the verbosity of Duke Lamar. I should also take special care to mention that the Raplands have by and large praised Sir Jermaine for his early departure from the fray, as it seems that it has turned unquestionably violent. And they also share good reports of his prudence to remove himself from what will surely be an all-out conflict where not one side will leave the battlefield unscathed. Well, now we wait to see how Lord Aubrey responds. Thanks for watching or listening. If you enjoyed the content, please feel free to like, subscribe, and enable notifications. Or if you're listening on a podcast app, follow the show so you'll receive updates on when new episodes are posted. I really look forward to sharing the next story with you. Take care.